What's going on, guys? Today we have a nice little Barricade build, and I'm not gonna lie, at first I thought this was gonna be purely awful, but honestly, it's surprisingly not that bad. I used this build in a Master Lake of Shadows Nightfall, and I truly thought these barricades would just get melted instantly, but that actually wasn't the case. So guys, this build will give you fast barricades, allow you to shoot through them whilst maximising the barricade's overall potential, as well as a few other benefits that tag along with this build. But before we do start this build, be sure to check out my sponsor over at Oea for cheap Destiny Silver, and use my code DIVIDE at checkout if you want a discount on top. Now as always, rate, comment, sub, share, and let's dive straight into it. So guys, this build will give you barricades faster than normal, allow you to resist a lot of incoming damage, and you will of course be able to shoot through them. It's not awful in master content, but your barricades will eventually get destroyed if you do have a lot of incoming damage. But it's great for a little extra protection, and it's honestly saved me in quite a few situations. I'd personally use this build in Legend of Master activities, or when doing harder content solo, because there's honestly better builds out there, but this one is an option for those who don't have the requirements for other Titan builds in Destiny 2 currently. But if you do meet those requirements and you do want to see some other top best builds in Destiny 2, the full playlist is linked below for more build choices to use in the endgame, if you don't think this one is for you. Now how do you use this build when you're playing? Pretty simple. Place your barricade down when you need to, kill ads with your masterwork weapons to generate orbs of power, and then just repeat. Picking up those orbs will give you barricade energy and charge a light for your preferred charge light mod that you'll be using. In harder content, focus on killing ads that look like they're going to completely wreck you, because once that barricade is gone, they probably will. But let's take a look at the setup. So as always, starting with a loadout, you can use anything of your choice with this build, as you're not restricted. Although if you're taking this into master content where you have champions, then you might want to adjust to suit the champion requirements using those specific mods. You could even use the Traveler's Chosen if you wanted, that is if you want infinite barricades one after another, but I'd restrict this to easier content rather than taking this into a master nightfall. For your subclass, again it is fully flexible, so you can choose anything to your liking, but for my setup I decided to go with the top tree Void for the Weapons of Light Ward of Dawn bubble, so we can increase our DPS when it does come to the boss damage, or for that extra protection when you really need it. But just remember to put on a towering barricade for whatever subclass you do end up going with. Now for the exotic, it wouldn't be a barricade build without the Citan's Ramparts. I believe this is new from year 4, so to get this you will need to farm out Legend of Master Lost sectors when arms are the reward. Now you can use other exotics to enhance barricades, but for this build we are basing it around the usage of Citan Ramparts, and what this does is allow you and your allies to shoot through your tower and barricade, which does also have reduced health and duration. But that shouldn't really matter too much, as we will want to max out our resilience stat to 100 so that we can get that barricade back in 14 seconds, not including extras from other mods slotted with the build. But moving on to your armor mods in no particular order, starting with the helmet, I did go with Taking Charge to become Charge Light when picking up Orbs of Power, along with 2 Ammo Finder mods for your main DPS weapon. Then for the Gauntlets we do have our champion mods that you may need, but if you're using this in activities that don't have champions, then you can slot on some class ability cooldown mods instead. But for the chest, we have Protective Light to gain significant damage resistance when your shields are destroyed, which is our Charge Light mod, and you can change this to whatever you prefer, but this one is the best for endgame content. Your alternatives are Extra Reserves if you're using a Void special weapon like Null Composure, Energy Converter if you want faster supers, although you will have to have a higher discipline stat, alongside a supercharged mod in Solar Armor. And then lastly, you can use High Energy Fire. But setting my build up for a Master Nightfall, I will be running Protective Light. Now with that mod that you did choose, slot on your ammo reserve mods with that, and if you really want you can use a concussive dampener or other damage resistant mods to reduce that damage we take, but as we are running 100 resilience, it's not really 100% needed, unless you are going into extremely difficult activities. For the legs we have Shield Break Charge, just another source to become Charge Light, alongside Absolution for more ability cooldowns, and then our Scavenger mod for that heavy weapon. But in the class, we do have another ability cooldown mod because we want that class back as quick as possible, as we are a Titan Barricade build. But next up we have Particle Deconstruction to make our fusions deal more damage, which you would only use of course if you are using fusion rifles. And one last mod you could use is the Thermoclastic Strike, but again you would only use this if you're using a Surd or Stasis subclass, which will solve all your overload problems and free up your overload mod slot. But if you are going to use this, then you either don't want to miss with that melee when you do use it, or have a high strength stat. So overall this build is great to use if you don't meet other build requirements, but I would stick to using this in easier content unless you're a Titan main and you know how, where and when to use those barricades to be the most effective. because if you place it down at the wrong time or wrong place, you might just screw yourself over. But guys, that is your quick Titan Barricade build in Destiny 2 Season of the Lost. Next, as always, be sure to check out that playlist below for more fun and crazy top meta builds in the game for Season 15. But for now, smash that rating up or down and let me know below what you think of this build, and I'll catch you all as always in the next video.